Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network. Hi, this is Amit Doshi, and I wanted to thank each and every one of our listeners. It's been 2 years since I founded IVM, and it's been an amazing 2 years. We wanted to learn a little bit more about who is listening to our shows, and so we put together a short survey. The survey is anonymous, and we aren't going to be collecting any personal information. I would really appreciate it if you could take a couple of minutes out of your day and go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and fill it out. Thanks, and please keep listening.
You're listening to TFG Cricket.
Hello guys, welcome to a new episode of TFG Cricket Podcast. My name is Nikhil. I have Vivek, Krishnan and CP with me, and we will be reviewing
India.
The whole season, I would say. But
There's
other
no
than that, the
season.
whole series
There's
between
only
India and
one team
Australia.
in the world. There's only one team in the world, unbeaten team.
Vivek has his doubts. But frankly speaking, it was one of the best test series that we have seen so far.
Yeah, definitely for India. There's no
Yeah,
doubt
India
about
only.
it. Yeah. Of course, it's the build-up, the whole atmosphere, the on-field, off-field, everything added to the flavor of the series. And luckily, it was a well-contested one.
Yep.
But in the end, it turned out to be very one-sided, the fourth decided test match. But overall, it was a great series. And I think if it had been another washout like the England or the New Zealand, people would have lost interest. Because Australia won the first test, suddenly the series came alive.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest, I wouldn't say
Wake-up
achievement.
call.
Yeah, I mean, because like we know,
the series
Harbhajan
needed
said,
that ingredient.
absolutely, and it need not have been so one-sided, but the fact that Australia won, suddenly Australians also started thinking, okay, theek hai, kuch ho sakta hai, Otherwise, they also weren't expecting to do anything great in this series. Just newcomers are there, dekhte hai kya hota hai. 2-0 har gaya to bhi theek hai. They would have wanted to avoid a whitewash, definitely, but they would have been happy with a 2-0 loss. I mean, it's a bonus for them, no doubt about it.
Well, like Shane once said, 2 bad sessions. One in Bangalore, one at Dharamshala cost them the series.
Yeah.
Should India be proud of their achievement? I think so. But how much, Nikhil, it is always debatable. The reason I say this is because Virat Kohli, who was forced to sit out,
By RCB.
by RCB. I'm absolutely convinced. I am not
This is not correct. This is not correct.
I'm not questioning Virat Kohli's commitment. Nobody can, but it is what it is.
Only Brad Hodge can.
Only Brad Hodge can. And Virat Kohli didn't have to say anything. The great Mr. Bachchan gave him the reply. But I think, Nikhil, it's very simple. Coming back to Kohli, Rahane, like Ian Chappell said, aggression. You don't have to go, shout. You don't have to go swear. You don't have to gesture. You don't have to do anything of that sort. We just look into, like Hayden said, look into Rahul Dravid's eyes for aggression. And you are in for a contest. Ajinkya Rahane, we all had our doubts how he would lead. Interesting.
Exactly.
When he started the season, his place was in serious doubt. We spoke about Cheteshwar Pujara. Other than Virat Kohli, nobody was guaranteed of a spot. Now, after the series, suddenly we see Pujara. Oh, without Pujara, this Indian team cannot play test matches. Somebody who has got how many? 500-600?
12.
Sorry?
12.
1,200 runs. 1,200 runs over a period of 11 to 12 test matches. That is a lot, which means 100 every match. And then you talk about Ajinkya Rahane. Ajinkya Rahane also chipped in at Bangalore. And obviously, he didn't do much in Ranchi. But that knock yesterday, although he got only 26-27, that intent, the way he came out and he started. And obviously, he spoke about why there was a change in the approach. We lost a similar test match at Galle. We should have won that test match. This was obviously Virat Kohli's second test match after being the captain. So, I think aggression, yes, they are two different characters, two different captains. Somewhere Ajinkya Rahane and his fans will be happy that nobody will talk about his position any longer in test matches. I have my doubts as far as ODI cricket is concerned, and I won't be shocked if he gets omitted from the Champions Trophy squad. But test matches, you need both Rahane, you need Pujara also. It also goes to show without Virat Kohli, we can go and win test matches.
Yep.
Which is huge.
See that without Virat winning a test match and all, without Virat we won the series. Okay, so he didn't do anything in the series except scream and shout and abuse.
Yes.
So that's great for Amitabh Bachchan to tweet, and we can thrash Australia without Virat. And I think just touching on this decider, when we previewed the match, we said Australia gets in with a momentum because they found a good confidence in their batting lineup. There's a Hanscom, Maxwell, Wade, everybody coming good. Unfortunately, that's what's let them down in this. I mean, the second innings was a revelation of actually pressure got to them. Suddenly they found that even a 28-run lead, they suddenly realized they had to put on 250 runs to make a fight of this match. And there was no great... spell from a single bowler, 3 wickets each to Jadeja, Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Ashwin, and that was it. That was all that was needed. So the difference finally came to, nerves on the ground. It was not about Virat or Ajinkya leading, and Australia actually batted themselves out of the test. In the first innings, they had a great opening stand, one down. They were, I think, 140 odd for one. And then they let go that advantage. And in the second innings, it was like disaster. So there was no way they could have won the test if the batsmen put up such a show. There was nothing to defend. And even for Australia, despite being bowled out for 300, they still had some hope. But a couple of drop catches and the tail wagging a bit, and India had a 28-run lead. And that proved to be a pressure point for Australia. So I think India has done well in those circumstances, that compared to Australia in a high-pressure match at home without their captain, they came up trumps, which is very good. Overall, if you look at the season, I think beginning from New Zealand, then England, Bangladesh and now Australia, it's great for any team in the world to have such a long season at home in which they can, actually try out a lot of players. A few players then cement their place. So it's like Rahane, Rahul, Pujara, Virat of course was there, Ashwin, Jadeja coming to almost like a lead bowler right now. So Umesh Yadav coming good. So you now suddenly have a core of a team around which you can build for the future, which is what we needed. Because till the beginning of this season, and even beginning of the Australia season, everyone was doubting, we also discussed that there are just 3-4 players who can actually walk into the team. So now you have that 5-7 members, Saha of course. So you have a good 5 to 7 players who will be permanent fixtures, and that's what any team needs. And even for Australia, that's worked out well. They have discovered a Renshaw, Maxwell has come good, Hanscom, whatever way, Wade. So for both teams, it's been a great, outing, looking into the future. I think that's the best takeaway from the series.
I want to make 2 points here. I will start off with CP said the pressure got to Australia in the second innings at Dharamshala. There was no pressure. Actually, there was no pressure. India were ahead by 30 runs. Australia came out to bat. They could have approached their batting in the same manner like they did in the first innings. Who was the difference maker? It was Umesh Yadav. Umesh Yadav's spell won us the match. You can talk about Kuldeep Yadav. Yes, he set the tone for us. Australia were on their way to scoring 450. Had they got to 450, they would have batted us out of the game. They didn't do it. Credit to Kuldeep Yadav. But Umesh's spell, talking about the season, about 13-14 test matches, there has not been a single spell from a pace bowler.
Yeah.
And when we were previewing the season, I'm talking about 3 months ago, the first test match against New Zealand, we had strong doubts about our pace bowlers. Shammi, coming and going. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, in and out. Ishant Sharma, hot and cold. One guy stood out, and it was Umesh Yadav. Did we expect that to happen? No, we didn't. He surprised us. He's the same bowler who went away. He had this dirty habit of spraying the ball, all over the wicket, and he used to get hammered. I don't know what suddenly happened to him. Obviously, he's put in a lot of hard work. There's no doubt about it. And because of that spell, it was hostile. Sure, the wicket was responsive. And I think it turned out to be the best cricketing wicket. If you look at all those matches that were played in India, Dharamshala stood out. Credit to the groundsman. And like Ravi Shastri said, more test matches will be played at Dharamshala.
Yeah.
Because if you are going to present a good contest between bat and ball, and even for the pacers where they can run in, and even if they bend their back, they are getting a good response.
Yeah.
And that is where I think Umesh Yadav, just brilliant man. Pat Cummins had the same conditions. Josh Hazelwood, did they exploit? They tried, but the Indian batsmen were a little too good.
Too good, yeah.
Okay? But Umesh Yadav, that spell to David Warner, that spell to Matt Renshaw, that spell to Steven Smith. Yes, Steven Smith got out to Bhuvneshwar Kumar.
Yeah.
But who set him up? Those balls at 140, 142, the ball was reversing. And that was a hostile spell, Nikhil. So I think, in my opinion, point one, so Umesh Yadav, I think, won us that session. And in the process, we won the series. Number two, the debate between Ashwin and Jadeja. People speak about Ashwin being the number one spinner. I disagree. You know, we had this debate on the podcast. You spoke about Ashwin getting to 250 wickets, the fastest. And I said, very simple example. The wicket at Ranchi didn't offer much. What was Ashwin doing? Was he effective? No. Who was effective? Ravindra Jadeja. He will do more damage when this team goes and plays overseas. What has been Ashwin's record in South Africa, Australia and New Zealand? Please, 25 wickets ke upar liya rahega, to I'll be shocked. How many matches has he played? Just go, take a look at those numbers and see Ravindra Jadeja's numbers. And I made this point then, I'm making it again. Ravindra Jadeja is number one, not Ravichandran, not Ashwin. Ashwin is a class bowler. But if you're only going to rely on dust bowls like Harbhajan did throughout his life, I'm sorry. That's where skill. Obviously, Harbhajan had a different skill. Something that shouldn't have been allowed. But Jadeja, man, the variations, his pace, he's a clever bowler and he keeps coming back to you. If you hit him, he's ready. One more, try and do that to me. But Ashwin, you can see him. If there is no support, no assistance, he goes into his shell. One more reason, if you go back to the scorecard, you will see Ajinkya Rahane underbowled Ashwin.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Not because Kuldeep Yadav was doing very well, not because Ravindra Jadeja was doing very well. It's because the Australians got very comfortable with Ashwin. We got extremely lucky with that Maxwell wicket. It could have gone either way. And suddenly people will say, wow, Ashwin ne wicket liya. That's not the truth.
DRS ne wicket liya.
DRS ne wicket liya. So these are the points, I want to highlight.
No, but I'll tell you what, when we started this series versus Australia, now India is known for its spin strength, okay, and how they play the spin. We got hammered at Pune.
Yeah.
Okay. But at Dharamshala, when the conditions were more suited to the Australians, we did extremely well over there. And is that the reason? Because Anil Kumble is saying that we are now okay to go overseas. And
see, one swallow doesn't make a summer, no? Okay?
I'm not too sure.
One Dharamshala doesn't make a test team. Okay. So, statements will come.
But is the Indian team changing? Like, pehla itna spin pe dependence and now.
The fan garage is different because we don't analyze one test and make statements for the next 10 years. Okay.
And more importantly, we don't go with the flow. We don't get carried away.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't get carried. Kumble has to make that statement because
he's the coach, man.
Yeah, next he has to go abroad because now what is remaining for India? What is the frontier for India? Ki go abroad and win matches.
Yep.
What is the frontier for Virat, go abroad and start winning matches. So that is the question everybody has. Abhi theek hai yaar, India mein jeeta. Like we say, ki Australia is very happy having lost a series. So because they lost only 2-1 and they actually won a test match here and they gave a tough fight. So nobody is expecting any team to come here and win. So it's a given ki India hi jeetega. So this became a tough series. So it became interesting and we are very happy about it. Now, going abroad and winning, see, everything changes. it's a hostile environment. It's different kind of pitches. Here you say that Umesh Yadav got purchased, but Hazelwood and Cummins didn't get. Udhar 4 guys are going to come at you. And
relentless.
And for 5 days. It's not that second day ke baad the ball won't rise there. So it's a different ball game when the ball starts flying here and there and you don't know what to do. And you're not used to practicing that kind of pace, or that kind of movement. So it becomes a little difficult. Here you had to negotiate. See, chasing 102 runs and Ajinkya coming and scoring a quick fire 20 aggressive, and would he have done if you were chasing 250, 275?
No
Doubtful.
way.
Then all the doubts start coming into your mouth. Should I go for the shot or should I defend? Should I, will I miscue the shot? It's not so
And he
easy.
was the first one to admit that. When he was asked, why did you go after the bowling? He said after the Gaul experience, where we were chasing 180, 170, 180, suddenly you don't know how to go about it.
Exactly.
This is an in-between total.
And we can go back to 1983 when West Indies lost the World Cup, just chasing 140.
Yeah.
2-3 wickets go and then the next guy is in doubt. Should I hit my way out of this pressure point, or should I just hang around and take my singles, wait for the bad ball? It's like playing on your mind all the time. So whether we are good enough for overseas tours, overseas mane kya? Finally, you have to prove yourself in England, South Africa and Australia. So these are the big ones, and you need to go out there and consistently win. So there's still time for that. And whether these batsmen can take on the bowlers there, because finally it's going to be how good our batsmen are going to be out there. How much can they put on board to win a test match? Because again, it comes to whether Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Umesh Yadav, or a Shami can take 20 wickets out there, As we have seen, a Ashwin or a Jadeja might not be so effective. And by the time Kuldeep Yadav reaches there, they would have figured out how to play him probably. One point I wanted to make about was the on-field sledging, or whatever for a broad term sledging. But I think that is the best thing that's happened out of this tour, because suddenly there is a new rivalry of Australia versus India, and Virat carrying forward the rivalry, saying that the Aussies are not my friends, because finally a contest needs that also. Okay, there needs to be some kind of thinking, where do you draw the line? How much far do you go? But I think it was the contest actually came alive because of that also. If Virat had been there in the fourth match, like I think Wade said after batting, I think the first day when he scored a 50, he said, it's been nice on the field. The guys were quite, shanti tha. It's almost like saying that. If Virat was there, it would have been, probably Virat actually would have put a lot of pressure on the Indian team. I think it was a blessing in disguise he wasn't there for the decider.
But his statements were a bit overboard, like I don't want to be friends with any Australian. I mean, we have seen...
Make that point.
Yesterday we were talking and we have seen Harbhajan Singh, Andrew Simons, we have seen Harbhajan Singh Ponting. And then later on, all these players were a part of Mumbai Indians. We saw them celebrating together. So, friends is not required.
See,
actually.
The thing is, I think these are all statements for the media.
For the media,
yeah, it's
only
good,
for the media.
and it keeps it alive. So now in IPL, everyone will be watching how is Shane Watson and Virat going to behave with each other, or how is Steve Smith and Ajinkya Rahane going to behave.
So suddenly Pune versus Bangalore has become.
I'm telling you, next season Smith will be transferred to Bangalore. And then this will be forgotten. This will be history.
No. So, see, the club versus country thing is always alive and it's good. So, but what I want to say is, after Pakistan disappeared from the scene, for India it was very boring. All these bilateral series is one of the most boring things that's happening. I think this test series was as exciting as it could get, also because of this fight between these two teams,
Banter.
And the monkey face from
Ishan.
That's not going to get him a place in one of the IPL teams. In any team, I should say. Surely not. Nikhil, I have a very simple theory. Yes, great win. In fact, this was a face-saving win. We should have beaten them 4-0, 3-0, I don't know. But they pushed us to the brink.
Yeah.
They had us on the ropes and, okay, great. We came back. We are the number one team. And CP talks about rivalry and India-Australia being the next big thing. All that is okay. But like we discussed, they have beaten us twice.
Yeah.
We have won test matches. Okay,
I know.
I'm only talking Australia. I'm not talking about England or South Africa. I'm only talking about Australia. We haven't beaten them.
Yep.
So till the time we get that right and we restore some pride, you can brag about the rankings. I don't care. This is what, and yes, this is a process. There is a beginning, and this team has the intent. And sometimes I get a feeling they don't fear losing. And when you are in that zone, positive results come your way. Anil Kumble is a fine guy behind the scenes. Yes, he's the coach. He's had a wonderful season. He's not lost a series, so he can talk about this team is ready. And we have heard this from the former coaches also. Okay, Greg Chappell said this, John Wright said this, Gary Kirsten said this. But we have seen some humiliating defeats away. Can this team do it? I think so. And like CP said, at the end of the day, your bowlers will get you 20 wickets for sure. They might. But if you keep getting bowled out for 150, 160, it happened in New Zealand. It happened in England. So then how are you going to win test matches?
Yeah, true.
Kohli being aggressive, Kohli sledging captains. I want to see when he goes to England. I want to see what happens when he goes to South Africa.
South Africa, yeah.
Teams are very smart. India-Australia series, all these big guns are watching. And very quickly today, because of so much video analysis, teams are very smart. Bowlers are very smart. They have elephant-like memory. They'll know iska kya weakness hai, kidhar dalna hai. So, we will be exposed. By winning a series of test matches here, you cannot say, yeah, we are ready. We are going to go there. We are going to get bullied. No, they had this hashtag bully the bully. We are going to get bullied for sure. And till the time, obviously you need a lot of character. And when you start losing, that is when your character, your temperament, then everything, people talk about various things. And I really want to see India getting tested. They will for sure.
Yeah.
Can they win? Is a big question mark. I think work needs to be done in the bowling department. We don't have fit bowlers. Yes, Umesh has been a standout, but we have seen Bhuvneshwar struggle, we have seen Ishan struggle, we have seen Shammi struggle, Varun Aaron is out of the scene. So we need a battery of paces, Nikhil, to go and win away. We can't say Ashwin Jadeja win us the game. Not happening.
Okay.
We get the bowling sorted, we have a good chance.
Okay. On that point, just before we wrap this episode, forget about Sri Lanka where we are. It's again a home condition. But going to South Africa.
The way Sri Lanka are playing at this moment. Losing to Bangladesh, we're going to beat them 3-0.
We should send the under-19 team or something.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. But, after that we are going to South Africa. And, there's where the likes of Ashwin, Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav will not be the core bowling attack. How do we, go ahead with this? It's only Umesh, as you said, it's only Umesh who is standing.
We have to go ahead with this team. It's very simple. The top 5 batsmen have to learn not to get out in seaming conditions.
And they'll be facing Philander, Rabada,
Mone Mokel. Stein will be back.
Yeah. So you need to learn to stay there and score 300 runs. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to it. I mean, what else is there to it? I'm telling you, even if our 5 bowlers get them out, an average would be say 250, 275 would be the lowest any of those teams would get out with our kind of bowling attack. I'm not even analyzing figures or statistics. I'm just on a offhand telling you that our batsmen need to go out there and score more than 250 every time. Then we win the match. If they get bowled out twice for 250, we need to score 250 each time to win the match. Can we do that? Can our batsmen stay? So Virat becomes a big reason for us to win any match. Just like Sachin and Dravid were our, strong points, Virat is going to be very important.
Yeah. And he has done that in the past.
Yeah, he has done that in the past.
So he will go. So as long as he gets into his form, then he has anchors like Pujara and Ajinkya on the other side, and Rahul is coming up very good. So if he can,
Murali Vijay keeps playing those selfish innings time and again.
Fine. So there is hope. It's not that it's a bad scene or something, but it's all about going there and consistently doing it.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to it. What happened to Australia in this series? The last test was that they were not consistent in their batting. Smith flopped and
Stark
Warner
was injured.
flopped. And
I think that was one of the major reasons why.
absolutely, sir. But it's a team game. Just like Virat was injured, Stark was injured, so we can't pick on. The fact remains that Warner didn't perform to potential in this series. Smith in the decider didn't come up good, and that was the end of it. So Wade came with his 50, Maxwell came with 100, Renshaw came with his 2 innings. But what was the difference? The difference was Smith. And for Australia in all the 3 matches, Smith was the difference. Warner, every innings we expected him to come good. It didn't happen. So actually Warner and Virat balanced themselves out. They were 2, yeah. So then it was left to the remaining 10 to play matches and win. So that's why it became a tight contest. If either Warner had got into the flow or Virat had got into the flow, it would have been one-sided the whole series.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way. So I think the same happens when you go abroad. Somebody has to take the lead, and in our case it has to be Virat. And there's no doubt he can do it. There is absolutely, he has the talent, the capabilities, he's done it, he has the experience, everything. And if the others chip in, we are on good grounds.
But before we go away, I think Nikhil, credit has to be given to the BCCI. Before this whole season started, everybody was bashing the BCCI for not giving Test cricket its due importance, not making the longest format, the number one priority. Obviously, the BCCI had their doubts. The fans had a lot of doubts about sponsors, about advertisement, about viewership. We have seen how many Test matches now in India. This team has played 4 against England, 4 against Australia, 1 against 30 Test matches. The crowd, obviously, it's not easy for people to come in during weekdays. But weekends, we have seen some fantastic crowd. We saw a great crowd in Visakhapatnam, Bombay, obviously. Chennai stood out. So it is promising, and it clearly shows the appetite is still there to consume 5-day cricket. Yes, T20 and 1-day cricket will remain the front runners, no question about it. But this series, the turnout, the enthusiasm, the anticipation, the talk, the buzz, even before Australia got here, everybody was glued to the television. Yes, we convincingly beat England, but I didn't come across anybody who said, I've had enough of 5-day cricket.
Yeah.
And this was a mighty long season. And sometimes you can reach a point of saturation. That didn't happen, which is very, very encouraging. So, thank you, BCCI.
And actually, in this case, I would like to say thank you, Virat, also. You see, Virat has come up when the big 4 went away, Dhoni has moved away. You needed that one icon who could, take everything on his shoulder. And India needs that all the time. We have very few, superstars, either in the entertainment industry or in cricket, which are the 2 big things in India, Bollywood and cricket.
Yeah.
And actually, you can count the number of superstars. So you needed that Virat. So Virat being in the dressing room also is like great. Seeing him, his action, the way he comes across. I think everybody wanted that one guy who would lead India after a Sachin and after a Dhoni. And Virat has filled that place admirably. And there's no doubt about it. And that will keep Indian cricket going. There's no doubt.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you BCCI, thank you Virat.
Thank you BCCI, and we can now happily look forward to the IPL.
Yeah.
No
because
complaints.
वो एक break चाहिए रहता है after so much of Test
All
matches.
those
It's good to get into.
Critics had we lost this series, the Indian team, the BCCI, they would have been for some great bashing from the press.
Yeah.
Now nobody will complain. Now
and thank you, Anushka Sharma.
we have to wrap it up now.
Okay guys, we'll wrap it on that note. You can read more articles on our website, thefangarage.com. You can connect to us via Twitter and Facebook at The Fan Garage. You can listen to our podcast on IndusVox Media, Audioboom, SoundCloud, iTunes, and definitely on YouTube. Subscribe, share, like and comment, and do download this IVM podcast app on Android and iOS. Till then,
behind every successful man there is a woman.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcast, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcast galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.